0 cause. Minus 14.25.
Hello guys, today is Monday the 13th of April 2026. I did a recording the other day with an epiphany moment while playing Swordy Quest, and I made the difficult decision not to submit the recording because VoiceOver was reading too much information and giving away spoiler alerts that I don't want to put on YouTube for you guys at the time, because I will happily read the Phonotasia and Beyond story scrolls. I will happily do that, and if you hear me in the background, it is because I'm going to make some toasted sandwiches. To sound really stupid, some toasted sammies while I talk to you. I'm going to make some yummy sammies. Keep in mind I've also got bloody sausage rolls in the fridge, so I'll be living on sandwiches and sausage rolls today that I made yesterday. Now the sandwiches are really, as in the actual bread is massive, so I'm probably... It's cafe style bakery bread that you cannot get from, well, you can sort of get some flavoured cafe bread from the supermarket, but if you want your bread of choice in a cafe style, you need to get it from a real bakery. So anyway, with that said, I'll be living off of sandwiches and sausage rolls today. How many of these bits of bread are going to actually fit onto the toast maker, I wonder? Let me see. Let's have a look. Oh, 2 bits of bread will fit on there. No, that's okay. 2 bits of bread will fit. That's all right. No, that works fine. That's okay. I have got it sorted, guys. All right, I've got it sorted. Get a couple of bits of, I call it plastic cheese. It's actually craft cheese, and I think it's disgusting if you just eat it by itself. But if you do the right thing and actually put it on bread with some ham and tomato and special burger sauce, it tastes beautiful. So, I'm going to butter up the bits of bread and I'm going to put them face down on the thing, is what I'm going to do. Not an issue. So, I had an epiphany moment on Swordy Quest the other day. I am going to read you the Phonotasia and the Beyond story scrolls. However, the Infinite scrolls are very new and they reveal a few clues as to why. So essentially you're just playing the game, but it tells you why it wants you to do certain things. It tells you why you should be fighting the enemies. It tells you why you should be gathering resources. It gives you more clues than just, by the way, spend several hours a day playing the game. It's fun, it's addictive. So, I didn't want to give you any spoilers. Still don't want to give you any spoilers. And, yeah, I will read some of the story scrolls, but I'm not going to read the infinite ones just because I said so, basically. If you want to find out more, the answer is please check out the infinite story scrolls yourself and please play the game yourself. I'll happily do some things on recording, but I'm not going to give away too many spoilers, and yeah, I will just keep it at that for now. What I will say is if you find all the golden enemies and if you find other creature types in all of the realms, you're going to unlock all of your achievements. I'm going to show you unlocking some achievements on recording. It might take several parts, over a number of days or hours to maybe days, but I'm happy to do that. I'll give you a bit of a clue, but not the full spoil alert about something. The clue is, hang on, let me line up this bread on the thing. The clue is, there's a way that you can get stronger when you're battling all of your enemies. There is a way that you get stronger and stronger each time that requires you to do a lot of hunting. But if you flee from all of your enemies, which you might have to do when you're doing recordings and you want to save time, but let's say you need to flee from some enemies to get certain creature types, you obviously can do that. But the thing is, where did I put the cheese? Where is it? Oh no, where did I put my cheese slices? Oh fuck, where did I put them? Oh no, where are they? I've got them out of the fridge, yes, I remember doing that. I do need to get the special burger sauce out of the fridge. Where did I get the cheese? Where are they? Where did I put the cheese? Oh, you fucking... Where are they? I've put them somewhere. There's the bread. Oh, I can't remember where the cheese is. I can't remember anything. Oh, I'll put the cheese under the bread. What an idiot. So, I'd do something like that too, knowing me. What an idiot. So, you can obviously flee from your enemies if you specifically need to. But the recommendation is, please fight every single enemy you come across. Because there is a reason in the story scrolls. I can't tell you what it is. You'll have to figure it out. But it is in the story scrolls, and you will have to read through it to find out. Read through them all, especially the Infinite Story Scrolls. And you will also have to figure out, when you're hunting, you can read the enemy details page of each of your enemy types. You will have to kind of figure out what that means also by reading every story scroll. So the Beyond, the Infinite, the Phonotasia ones. You have to read all the story scrolls to find out what all that's about. Because I'm not going to tell you. I am not telling you nothing. I'm just not going to do it. Hang on. Sauce. So, good luck with finding out certain things in the game for yourself. I'm happy to show you things on recording, but I'm not going to give away too many spoiler alerts. That's something you'll have to figure out. If you want to get really good at fighting your enemies so that you're killing them in 1 or 2 rounds instead of 15 or 20 rounds at a time, you have to be very committed to doing a lot of hunting without running from all your enemies. And secondly, you do have to keep on top of your resource gathering so you don't run out of food and resources. That's the easy part. The hard part is in the story scrolls that you will find all the clues. In which case, I had an epiphany moment, and I hope you will find yours, because it is fun. and it will make the game more addictive. I'm just going to say it that far. It'll make the game a lot more addictive for you. Good luck with it, guys. I am racing along through the game. You'll eventually make it to number 1 on every single story, on every single leaderboard, eventually. And you will unlock every single achievement, in which case I am quite happy to show you unlocking, how I unlock some of my achievements on the leaderboard. But I'm not going to give away too many spoilers. So if you say, hey, how do you do so much damage with your melee attacks? Like you can do 40 or 50 damage when you hit creatures with your sword or warhammer. That's a dynamic in the game, which you will have to figure that out. You will have to read through the story scrolls, and you will have to do a lot of hunting and reading through your enemy progress stats. For example, each type of enemy is defeated over and over again, which increases your defense and probability of finding the same creature again, and also hunting and killing the same creature. It gets easier and easier. And when you think there is 370 different enemies in Swordy Quest, and it says kill them all, not only do you kill them all one time, you've got to kill them all over and over again in order to do something which I'm pretty sure the story scrolls will tell you. That's something I don't need to tell you. I'm pretty sure you'll find out in time what I haven't told you. But you will eventually get really good at the game. And yeah, it'll be worthwhile playing it for a long time. That's all I'm going to say about that. Oh, I don't have any more tomato there. Shit. No, I don't. Oh well, I'm just going to chop up some more tomato. Jesus. I'm going to cut some more tomato. I'm just going to chop up another tomato while I'm talking. So, with all that said, I will still be doing normal Swordy Quest recordings, but I am not going to spoil you, because I don't need to. And I will not do it. What I will happily do is, do things like kill a certain amount of dragon elites in a given time, like as many of them as I can in an hour and all that sort of stuff. I'm fussy with tomato. I've got to chop out the little core of the tomato because I don't like it. Ugh. I do not like it at all. So I'm going to put some fresh Roma tomatoes are the best. You've got to eat Roma tomatoes. They are the best. They are absolutely the best. The slice is too thick, so I'm going to cut it down to something more manageable for me. There we go. A little bit of tomato. Yum. Yum. Now, I'm going to put some ham on top of that. Because who doesn't like ham? I love ham. Yum. So yeah, with that said, I shall be doing regular Swordy Quest recordings. But as for the dynamics of how do you get so much, do so much damage to enemies and all that, you will kind of have to have a good look through the story scrolls and figure that out on your own if you want to find out more. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm not going to give away too much. Sorry, I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to give away too much information. Because if I did, and people started getting on the recordings, like tapping on them and listening to them, I bet you I would go from whatever ranking I'm at the leaderboard now, on especially the experience points leaderboard. If I say too much, I will end up jumping back about 10 ranks in like 3 days. So yeah, I am not going to say anything. I figured something out, and I'm just going to do my recordings normally, and if you don't figure it out, that's your own issue. Sorry. That's just a problem you will have to figure out on your own. Because there's just certain things I kind of can't help you with. Sorry. I just can't help with everything. I can help with some things, but not everything. In any case, have a really fun time actually playing the game. I'm pretty sure you'll love it. There's nothing wrong with spending a few days figuring out the dynamics of Swordy Quest. Once you get it, you will be playing it for years and years and years with no interruptions. Besides life getting in the way and medical appointments and all that. But that's just how life happens to be. It's something that no one has control over. Which is very unfortunate. But that's just how it is. That is just how life is, unfortunately. I love eating fresh Roma tomato. I love it. It's nice and fresh. And just clean up this. Clean up these dishes as I go, I think. Only problem, I don't want to put dishwashing bubbles. Not that I mean it, but I don't want to, deliberately start the dishes with purpose and then realise, oh, I'm getting dishwashing bubbles over the bench. Don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So I will clean up this space and we'll start again with a fresh knife and butter my other bits of bread for the toasted sandwich. The 2 toasted sandwiches, that is. I'll start fresh. Because I've got a couple of plates here to wash, so I want to get them out of the road while I'm cleaning up and cooking. Because I'm going to use my rice cooker later. And I'm going to make some yummy rice to put in the freezer. Oh, I love cutting up tomatoes so I can set it up for the sandwiches. Love it. Love it. I can do my dishes quickly and then I don't even have to worry about them later because they're done. these 2 knives. Oh, shit. Knocked that coffee mug pretty hard then. Yeah. And I will be allowing people to have cups of coffee, but there is somebody I am not going to accept in my home to have coffee anymore because they are not respectful of my things and they're breaking dishes and they're bending forks and just breaking things generally, which I don't find very respectful of someone in my home just carelessly breaking stuff. And there's no like physical, when I say violence, you know, the person uses violence, not like, they're not chucking stuff at other people, they just throw things around and break stuff, and I'm like, yeah, don't let me come back in here again. They're not allowed. So I have to go to a shopping mall and buy a new coffee mug, which I'm, angry about. But anyway, I'll buy a new one and chuck out the chipped one because I don't want anyone to get hurt. So anyway, that's just, it's part of living and learning when you have people over for coffee. You know who you can and you know who you can't trust, and you know, the person breaking things probably doesn't know what they're doing and they're mentally unwell and they're chucking things around violently, but they don't know they're doing it. I mean, that's okay. But when it comes to my stuff and my money, it's actually not okay. So yeah, I'm not saying that having a mental illness is wrong, because people who are mentally ill have entitlement to like peace and happy living. But I don't have a problem with saying, look, if you have mental illness, please sit back and relax and feel better if you can. But don't go breaking my stuff and finding excuses to break things. I can't have that. Anyway, not an issue. I've got it sorted. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. And I'm also going to be getting craft cheese from now on, because as much as I love the other expensive cheese slices, as much as I think the other expensive slices of cheese are better generally, I think the craft cheese is easier to deal with. You just get out individually wrapped sliced cheese slices, and you don't have to deal with peeling the cheese slices apart. You just pick up the wrapped slice and unwrap it. I don't like the cheap cheese slices on their own. I don't like eating them, so the more expensive slices of cheese are better to eat if you're going to have it on its own or on biscuits. But if you're going to make toasted sandwiches, the cheap slices of cheese are the best. They are just heaps better, because once they melt into whatever you've got on there, like baked beans, if you don't like baked beans, you can do ham, cheese, tomato. You could do tinned spaghetti with cheese. If you're not happy with that, don't use tinned spaghetti. You can even just have melted cheese toasties. I mean, the options are endless. So, options are definitely endless. And, if you're happy eating the sandwiches, you just continue eating them. Continue eating them as you make them. That's basically all there is to that. You just enjoy eating them as you go about making them. Right. got that settled. I can now bring the thing down and cook it. Right. It means I have to plug the thing back in. Oh yeah, because I pulled the plug out last night to clean that up. I did. Shit. Now I want my toast to be nice and crunchy, so...
Timer only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes. Start. Timer
I want
only.
nice and crunchy
6
toasted
minutes.
sandwiches. I'm going to make a couple more of them actually. I'll deal with that after I've made these ones. I'm going to make a couple more of them. I'm going to put the ham in a container so I know it's in there. I'm going to cook some bacon later too and have bacon and egg. Yum. Okay, let me get a container. I'm going to put the ham in a container and chuck out the packet so that way the pieces of ham don't go off really fast. I kind of don't like it when my ham goes rotten so quickly and you think, So you're going to put the ham in an airtight container and then eat as much as you can in a couple of days. Which is not hard because I'm having a resting day today, I'm staying home. Might do some baking later too if given the chance. I will consider my options. Now the container's here. Just going to get a lid for that. Now the good thing about these containers is there's these vent, what do you call those vent things? They're like, what are they called? They're like release switches. So when you flip the button down, it opens up the vent. When you press the other end of it, it flips it back up to make a nice flat seal across the top, which closes and opens the top of the lid. So I love those containers. I know some of you are going, oh, I just want simple containers you put on and you take off. Well, that's okay, you can do that. I like the ones with fancy open and shut little switch top things, little buttons that you press it in and you press it back out. I like those fancy things. If you don't like them, you don't have to use them. I mean, we all have different tastes. You don't have to like things just because. You know, it's totally your life to deal with. You do not have to agree to like everything, right? So, yeah, rant over. I'm using container lids that work for me. I'm using containers that work for me. If you're not happy with them, don't use them. I give out the information. You take what you will from it or you chuck it in the bin. I don't care. I frankly do not give a beep about that. I don't care. To be quite frank. So yeah. I'm gonna have to turn off the toasted sandwich maker in a few minutes when the toast is done. In any case, I hope you guys will enjoy continuing to play Swordy Quest. When you find out what you read in the Infinite Stories scrolls for the Infinite Realm, you're going to love it even more. So rather than tell you, I am going to let you figure it out for yourself. Ha ha ha. You'll kind of have to work it out. If you want to know how I'm leveling up so quickly in the game, it's based on doing a lot of hunting and gathering. So if you do a lot of hunting and gathering, you go up a level by gaining more experience points, and you get, and the game doesn't tell you that, but when you go into your statistics, when you gain a new level, you can see how many experience points you've got in your statistics page. So then it might, you know, for each level you'd probably need probably 500 or 600, possibly more experience points per level. When it gives you the level up notification, you close that out because it brings up the spirit guide and says you've leveled up, you know, you're at whatever level. And then you go to your statistics page, you check how many experience points you've got. When you've got another level gained, you check how many points you've got. So then you sort of know how many points you need to get for each level. Could be 1,000 experience points for all I know. I think that's what it is. So, if you do a lot of gathering resources and a lot of hunting, you're going to progress through the game a lot faster than if you don't, basically. So, the idea is do as much gathering and hunting as you possibly can every day. Whether it's a little bit or a lot, just do as much as you can.
11 seconds remaining.
So yeah, that is all I'm going to say about that, because I don't want to give away too many spoil alerts, as I said. Make sure the PowerPoint is turned off. Okay, it is, it's turned off. It is turned off. I'm going to pick up that toasty and bring it over to my plates. The other toasty and put onto my plate. Okay. Put it onto the plates. They're big pieces of bread, so I'm probably just going to have 2 toasties now. Oh, I've got food all over the oven mitts, so I'm just going to clean it off. Luckily it's just toast crumbs, but still, just going to clean that off. Alright, just going to give that a clean. Feel the sandwich maker with my gloved hand, yep. Close that down and unplug, because I found out the hard way that if you don't unplug it, you can accidentally turn it on and it can stay hot for hours, and also it has the potential to set fire to the place. Oh my God, you don't want to do that. So I'm going to leave the tomato out in case I'm hungry. I'm putting the rest of my food in the fridge just because tomato can't be left out for a long time, but it can be left out for a little bit longer than ham and cheese and salad. These days, stuff that I don't want in the fridge is what? Yuck. Gross. Yuck. I don't want anything in the fridge now. I want to chuck all that out. I'll put the garlic back up there because it's fresh. Here. Probably not going to be as hungry as I think, am I? So, okay, I need to chuck out a few things that I don't want in the fridge, because I'll forget if I don't. I will forget. And I don't want to do that. So, we'll see what happens after these sandwiches. Time will tell if I want to make more or less. Probably, no, I'm going to put the tomato in the fridge because I reckon I'm not going to eat more than this until later. I'll have another ham cheese toasted sandwich later. That's better. Because, yeah, I don't think that's going to work somehow. Just going to clean up my bench space here. And eat a whole stack of bread later with my meal. I eat a lot of bread. I like having bread with soups and stews. Very nice. Very yummy. So, I will upload this recording to YouTube, and I will be back with another Swordy Quest recording later. What I will say, which if you know about Swordy cards, it's like Swordy games, except that you've got cards that you've got to submit, like Creature's Age, Creature's Cunning, etc. And you've got to hope that your card is bigger than your opponent, stronger than your opponent's card. So you've got to defeat 12 of each creature type, like 12 imps, 12 goblins, 12 whatever, to make the cards stronger. So you've got to defeat your enemies as many times as you possibly can, basically. So, when you do a lot of hunting, your Swordy cards will get stronger and stronger, and you will beat your opponents more often. So, that's all I can say about that. The rest of it you will have to figure out by reading the Infinite Story Scrolls. I think when I do a new recording later, I'm going to read all the Swordy Quest, Phonotasia and Beyond story scrolls. And I will wait for at least 3 months before I even consider reading the Infinite Story Scrolls, I think. I'll wait a few months. And then I will consider reading them. Because these story scrolls have only come out several weeks ago, so in a few months a lot more people will have familiarised themselves with the new layout of Swordy Quest and the new story scrolls and all of the new clues and quests and all that. Quests. All the quests in the castles and stuff like that. So yeah, when I come back later, I'm going to read through all the story scrolls.
Speech on. Recorder HQ.
So,
Stop.
with that,
Stop. Pause. Stop.
I hope you guys all have a decent day or night, wherever you are. I'm going to eat my yummy toasties, and then I will be back with more games and all that. So, especially the story scrolls in Swordy Quest. And I might consider killing a few more enemies and attempting to unlock some achievements. We will see what happens. It's harder than I imagined to unlock the achievements because I've got one elusive desert enemy to get rid of, and I have already unlocked the Snow Shadow King and the have I unlocked the Lava Shadow King? I might have done, and I definitely unlocked the Grassland Shadow King. So I've just got the Desert Shadow King and what else have I got? Nevadora Shadow King to unlock. That's about it. I will show you all of that in my next recording. And my advice to you is, whether you need it or not, when you loot the glass shards from the Shadow Kings, don't sell them off straight away. Maybe do it later, but don't sell them off immediately because you may need them in future. But if you don't need them, let's say in 6 months' time, by all means sell them off. But when you get them within, as in, like, if you're getting them now as you're unlocking and killing Shadow Kings, do not sell them off immediately in case you are told to use them. So, you know, by the game instructions. So, yeah, with that, I will be back later. I'm going to enjoy my yummy McDonald's cheeseburger toasted sandwiches. Actually, on Thursday, I'm going to get some beef patties because, I lie. I can make my own beef patties. I can buy beef mince and I can make my own beef patties. I'm an idiot. That's okay. I can make my own beef patties. And, yeah, I'm dumb. I can make my own beef patties and I can use those to make McDonald's cheeseburger toasties because I actually know the Macca's cheeseburger recipe. It is cheese on a burger bun, which I'll be using bread, not a burger bun. And then you have a slice of plastic cheese, the Kraft cheese that I get. It's plastic cheese, basically. And then on top of that, you put special burger sauce, you put some gherkins, you put some tomatoes. And then you put the beef patty and a piece of bread or burger bun, whatever you use. That's basically a McDonald's cheeseburger. But I'm not going to use gherkins. I don't particularly like them. So I'm not going to use gherkins. So, yeah. I'm going to make some yummy cheeseburger toasties that taste like Macca's cheeseburgers. Yum. And, yeah, with that said, I will be back later.
Stop button.